Success can be defined by all sorts of things. You can define success by money, happiness, your home, your family, your vehicles, or your status in your career. The truth is, success is defined by you. What you have to do to become successful is also up to you. Because you decide what is success to you, you have to decide when and if you will get there. To start out, you want to define success. At what point will you be successful? How much money will you make? How many children will you have? Will you even be married? How many promotions from success are you? What will you drive? You see, it's all up to you. You should put a lot of thought into what you consider success. Our world is a very materialistic world, and being so, most of us get sucked into thinking that we will only be successful when others tell us we are. This is a very important thought that you should extinguish. No one other than you should be able to tell you when you have succeeded. Only when you have taken the time to really think about what success means to you will you be able to truly find the happiness that comes with being successful. After you decide what success means to you, you have to decide what actions will take you there. Each little step of the way that you get to is another small success you should celebrate. No matter how far from or how close to your final goal you are, you have to celebrate each benchmark you achieve. When you do this, your brain subconsciously connects all the work you did to the pleasure of the success. After a couple of celebrations that are only about your success, you will grow to enjoy work more, because in the end, you know you will be successful from it. Here are a few guidelines you might want to consider when defining your success. One could be, to be truly successful means you have to do it ethically. Ill-gotten success will only leave a part of you empty, begging for more. There's no question about it. To most of us, this is not true success. Another guideline you might consider, your success must not be achieved at the expense of others. People will help you along the way, but success is more about reaching out than it is about moving up. Help enough people get the things you want, and you will make it to the top, and have a bunch of close and successful friends there with you. Achievement that moves other people ahead is even more success for you in the end. You also will want to make an honest assessment of where you are before you start defining success for yourself. Figure out where you want to be, then complete the steps needed to get there. This oversimplification has a lot of power. It is not a simple task when the gap between the 2 points is wide. You should take action towards your goal every day. You will have what appears to be failures along the way, but keep taking action. Learn from those you have done what you want to do. The old adage tells us we should learn from our mistakes. But if we want to be on the fast track to success, then learn from other people's mistakes too. This way, you learn from others and don't make mistakes that take more time to meet your goal. It's very important while on the road to success to have benchmarks as well. Benchmarks are smaller goals. Let's use an example. Say you want to make $1,000 a week and you're currently at $100 a week. You should give yourself a set amount of time. 90 days is a great time frame for goals. The reason why is it's close enough to feel like you can't procrastinate, but far enough away to be able to achieve the goal. Anyhow, this is your goal, $1,000 a week in 90 days. Give or take, it's about 12 weeks. A benchmark for this would be a smaller goal that you could be happy with if you don't meet the main goal of $1,000 a week. For example, you want to use something that is 75 to 80% of the main goal. This would be $750 to $800 per week. This should really help you get started on the road to success. With all of these tips and guidelines, take your time to really figure your definition and then go for it. It's a common myth that success just happens to people. A lot of times, those who aren't successful begrudge those who have achieved a certain level of success. To reach full achievement, you'll have to get over any feelings that success and achievement are just handed to people because of who they are or luck. Such misconceptions about success that you may have, these ideas could be all that are holding you back, separating you from the success you want and deserve. In fact, it is probably better to use the word achievement in place of success because it promotes the idea of taking action and doing something. Notice the root of the word is achieve. Now, success doesn't really ever happen by accident to people, even though it can appear so. The idea of overnight success, or even the person who just so happened to pick an amazing stock in the stock market, are really nothing more than myths. Usually, it is the seasoned investor who has learned a lot and understands, even at a subconscious level, how to choose a winning stock that gets wealthy with stocks, not the guy who picks one at random. On the other hand, you do occasionally hear of people picking that one right stock before it increases in value, but it's so rare that when it does happen, it is newsworthy. Still, any such immediate success rarely lasts. True and lasting success has to be earned. It must be achieved for it to last and have all of the positive benefits it brings. Contrary to conventional wisdom, overnight success in the entertainment industry and politics are almost non-existent. We often hear rags to riches stories and accept them as truth without digging into the facts. These make for nice stories, as they show anyone can catch a lucky break. While these stories are often not true, when they are always the result of hard work, risk, and/or persistence. Not doing the hard work but reaping the rewards is a sure ticket to eventual failure. Any such success is short-lived and empty. Now, for those who somehow beat the odds and become an overnight success, it is possible to maintain that success, but only if they're willing to do the work needed to maintain it. Any worthwhile achievement will take a lot of hard work, but if you have the right goal, motivation, and reason, success will surely be found by sheer persistence. Yet it may not seem like work at all. You need to be able to look at things with the right perspective. You're no longer doing work for the sake of work. You're doing it to achieve something good that you desire, and in doing so, you will be exposing yourself to opportunities when they arise. It is often said that opportunity knocks only once, but the successful achievers believe it may knock twice, but they never know if they missed that first knock. Those who are massive achievers, the ones who have reached the pinnacle of whatever field they are in, are those who are not just doing it for the right reasons, but those who are able to recognize and seize opportunities whenever they present themselves. For sure, sometimes those opportunities may not pan out, but they may even appear to be failures. But what does the successful achiever do? They take whatever they can get from these apparent failures and move on, stronger and better equipped for success than they were before. They then start looking for the next opportunity and seize it as well. Oftentimes, they will seem to fail to the casual observer. What they are really doing is failing forward. Whereas the average person may see failure as something holding them back, top achievers find value in them. They keep trying, they don't give up. After all, they know what they want and they'll get it, and something as common as a failure isn't going to hold them back. It is these things that make people appear to be overnight successes. But those who are quick to label people as such are the same ones who don't want to do the hard but rewarding work that it takes to achieve true success. Achievement is not just getting what we want, but also getting ahead. It's difficult to advance our lot in life if we lack character. Character is the result of habits, but those with poor self-esteem may believe habits are the result of character. To the outside observer, this also seems true, and to some degree it is. After all, who would think a person that succumbs to destructive or poor habits could also have a strong character? To be clear, our habits do not always reflect our character, and here's why. The difference is in our personal perception of what our habits are. A person with a weak character will not recognize that their habits are bad, while a person of stronger character will recognize they are partaking in bad habits, but simply don't know how to change them yet. There are three things that contribute to our character and habits. Let's look at them and how they play a role. Heredity. While it is true that you cannot choose your family, it's also true that you can be aware of any influence they have. If their influence is negative, you'll have to be firm when they try to tempt you into bad habits. That doesn't mean you should stop loving them or ignore them, but be aware of their influence on you. Our families contribute to the makeup of our character. How can you get rid of the bad ones? It will take some effort, as you can't change your genetics. In a moment, we will look at other areas that are more in your control. For now, choose to focus more on your family's positive influences and downplay the negative ones. This way, you'll be thankful for the good traits you have inherited and be able to put them to work for you. Environment. When it comes to character, your environment can play a huge role. Environment doesn't just refer to your physical surroundings, but also your social. Physical surroundings have an influence on our habits and character, but not as big as you may think. Many great people have lived in terrible surroundings. War, poverty, and suppression were not able to stop some of the world's best people. They prove that your surroundings can actually build character by making you stronger. And this is where habits really come in. If you have poor mental habits, you can let subpar surroundings affect you negatively, using them as an excuse for failure. However, if your habits are strong and positive, you have the power to manifest great character. Just as a blacksmith uses heat to harden steel, so too can a great person use a bad environment to better themselves. That covers the physical, but what about our social environment? This is probably the biggest area of influence in our lives. Let's face it, we choose to hang around with these people. Take a step back and look objectively at who you think your friends are. Do they have the same moral compass as you? Do they encourage you to do things you know you really shouldn't? Do they ridicule you when you try to do better? Perhaps your friends are a good influence, perhaps not. Just look at your closest friends and you will get a good idea of the person you are now or will soon be. If that doesn't fit in with your vision of achievement, then you will want to broaden your circle of friends to include the right kind of people. Education. In this sense, education refers to the things we learn. Obviously, this means not limited to the things we learn in school. We also learn a lot from experience and circumstance. In a way, it's education that really molds our habits and character. And that's good news too, because you can also educate yourself to develop better habits and character. Reading is an excellent way to do this. Fill your mind with good things and put what you learn into action. However, you can also re-educate yourself by being open to new experiences. Ask yourself what you need to do to change a bad habit, or what you could do to build character. Often the answers lie within us if we are able to be honest with ourselves. When it comes to achievement, a strong and good character is vital. Habits, good or bad, are a reflection of character. Finding the areas of influence in your life will help you develop the character you need to move ahead. The first concept you must grasp in order to achieve great things is that you cannot do it alone. You must be willing to ask for help from friends, family, and associates. However, when it comes to family, do not be surprised if they are slow to accept your goals and aspirations. There have been arguments made for not disclosing personal goals with family, either because they may try to steal your dream or they will tell you it just won't work. Whether you decide to include your family or not entirely depends on your personality and the level of comfort you have with your family. Remember, while you may love your family dearly, they are not your business partners in most cases. If you are the type of person who is easily defeated by the opinions of others, then you will want to avoid sharing your goals lightly. When considering the type of business person you are, you may fall into one of two groups. 1. Those who are motivated to prove people wrong. On the surface, this sounds negative, but it isn't. Trying to show people what you are made of may work for you. If you are the type of person that excels in the face of adversity, then you will get great pleasure out of proving your critics wrong. 2. Those who are motivated by sticking to their word. In fact, telling people your plans can be an excellent way to motivate yourself. You don't want to appear as though you cannot follow through. Some people don't succeed because they keep their dreams to themselves. This way, if they fail, nobody knows. Conversely, not everyone will face such a negative response. If you know the people around you will support you, then don't delay and let them know as soon as you can. That covers the personal aspect of achievement, but there are other areas as well. It is important to get support and to develop a team of people that will support each other in achieving their goals. This has been documented as being a mastermind group, but what they are called doesn't really matter. It's how you utilize the group that matters. After you have solidified your goals, you will want to select people to help you along the way, but not to be selfish. Find others that know what you don't, and on the other hand, know not what you know. This may sound confusing, but just remember that you don't know everything, and you want to find people that can help make up for your weaker areas. Create an inner circle of people that you can bounce ideas off of, look to for advice, and advise them on their ventures. Remember Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz? You think she would have made it back to Kansas without the help of her mastermind? Just as you should be helping people with their weak areas, the ride to the top will be more enjoyable. And once you arrive, you will have people there with you. One final group, especially for those in business, are customers and the public at large. Whether you are providing a product or service, you need to create something of lasting value so that people want to keep giving you repeat business. Your success is never achieved alone, even when it appears so. The things you want to achieve do not materialize out of thin air. Mantras such as "the customer is always right" and "your customer is your most important asset" are to be valued and ingrained in your business model. To use a sports analogy, what's a sporting event without any fans? Just an empty arena and no vendors. After breaking down your obstacles and figuring out how to beat them, achievement and success come naturally. Most people cannot take their eyes off the intimidating big picture and break everything down nice and easy. Remember that great things are rarely accomplished by oneself. In order to achieve long-lasting success, you will need the help of others and the approval of your customers. Create a group of like-minded associates to advise you and give constructive criticism along the way. And do not be afraid to ask for help from family and friends, but heed warning that your ideas and goals are valuable and are not to be thrown around lightly. There is a concept known as guilt by association. This is an unfair way of assuming someone is doing bad things based on the company they keep. However, this concept has its evolution in some sound principles. Principles that must be understood for true success. Let's take a look at achievement by association. It's the little things that can add up. What we watch and listen to embeds itself in our subconscious. You can make your own choices, but often these things are experienced mindlessly. We hear a good beat or laugh at a sitcom, but never step back to understand what it really means. This is not being judgmental, just a fact. Nobody is telling you to stop watching and listening to the things you enjoy. Just keep in mind that one little lyric here or off-color joke there will eventually be expressed in our behavior if we let it go unchecked. Negative influences have a way of taking a firmer hold than positive ones. Do not look at this fact with a defeatist attitude, but rather as a precaution. You need to add much more positive input to make up for the negative. But the good news is that the positive input is more uplifting and will just make you feel better. One way to counteract these negative influences is to read positive books. This helps put more good stuff into our minds. If you can tip the balances in favor of positive input, then logically, that will come through in your behavior as well. The people you hang around with play a major role in your self-development. And this isn't just in your private social life. It also extends to the people you hang around with at school, church, and your career. Think about this. Do you ever wish people would stop gossiping so much? Then stop hanging around people that gossip. Seek out those people at work and play who are most likely to help you achieve the things you want. Mentors are those people that have achieved some of the things you want to achieve. They will guide you and give you advice, but more importantly, they will hold you accountable. This can have a very positive psychological effect when you are faced with negative inputs that are within your control. Having a knowledgeable mentor is priceless. There's one more thing that you need to consider when it comes to positive association, and that is yourself. More specifically, the things you tell yourself. It doesn't matter how much positive input you are giving yourself if you keep thinking it's nonsense, or you are somehow doomed to fail anyway. It seems fitting that the most powerful element of success is the one that nobody else can do for you. Why does this matter? Because reaching the higher levels of achievement is always met with obstacles. That's why so many people never make it that far. Once they encounter an obstacle, they quit. But if you have the right mindset, then you will welcome the obstacles because you recognize them as a sign of progress. Not only will you understand their significance, but your positive mindset will help you get beyond them without causing you undue stress. Just as listening to certain song lyrics or watching negative TV programs is a habit, so is turning to positive influences. You can begin achieving greater things once you understand how your everyday associations impact your life. As you add more and more positive input, you may find yourself saying or doing positive things you have never done before. When this happens, you will truly understand the power of mastering this skill. Get rid of the idea of guilt by association and start achieving by association.
Rid yourself of negative people in a way that makes you feel good. Why is detoxing to rid yourself of negative people important? Those that carry a permanent air of negativity will be the ones who will stand in the way of your goals. They will talk you out of doing things, planting the seeds of doubt in your mind as they go. Being constantly bombarded by negative energy can drain your energy levels, bring with it stress and anxiety. And positive changes cannot happen when you inhibit a negative space. Allowing the toxicity that negative people bring to seep into your veins will stunt your opportunity for personal growth and success. And when negative people are removed from your life, it opens up space that positive people can move into, bringing with them encouragement and support. The process of detoxifying negative people from your life. Step 1. Come to the realization that you are worth it. If you want to achieve goals and become a better person, you need to believe that you can do it. Cutting loose the anchor of negativity that is pulling you down will help you get where you want to go that much faster. How do you come to this realization? Start by making an active choice to commit yourself to what it is you want from life. Don't let anyone stand in the way of that. If there are negative people in your life, ask yourself the following. What sort of effects are those negative people having on your life? What are your goals and how much do you want them? Are negative people stopping you from reaching those goals? And step 2, identify the negative folks. You start to feel worse the moment you start talking to toxic people. They suck all your positive energy and leave you feeling miserable. They will quickly shoot down any type of idea you suggest. They will question everything you say or do, try to convince you that making a change will be the worst possible idea you've ever had. It's not always easy to spot when you are doing this, as they will sometimes make it sound as though what they are saying is positive. And what they are really doing is filling your head with doubts and do nothing but make you feel totally insecure about yourself. You need to learn to identify when this is happening, as it is the only way you will spot the negative people that need to go. Step 3. Get them out of your life. This can be done in any way that you think will be effective. Ignore their calls and steer clear of them. It's okay to be apologetic for your actions, but you do not need to defend what you're doing. Do not resort to rudeness or hate, but rather let them go with love. You may even allow them back into your life if they're able to get rid of their negativity and adopt a new attitude in the future. Step 4. Don't give in to guilt. Remind yourself that you are worth it, and don't give your actions a second thought once they're done. It may feel as though you are abandoning these people, but that is simply not the case. You're merely letting them go so that they can find their own way, and you can find yours. You might even have tried to help them in the past with kind words and encouragement, but all to no avail. Now, there comes a time when you have to cut your losses and move on. It's up to you to do what's best for yourself, not others. And it is human nature to grow and change throughout your life, with many people falling out of your life as those changes hit. And step 5. Prepare to be positive. Replace the toxic people with those who are positive and willing to be supportive of your goals. These people will offer words of encouragement in everything that you do, even if some of those things are a little scary or risky. Positive people are up for and willing to try anything, and they are the ones that usually succeed when they try.